I stand on my 2 feet. I'm in my proper person. I am sovereign. I am man. The flesh lives. The blood flows. I challenge the jurisdiction. And if jurisdiction cannot be proven, I move to dismiss this case.
That would be denied.
Along with the officer and sergeant who are already going to be getting sued. There's no need to add you.
All right, guys. Today we're dealing with a completely unhinged sovereign citizen who seems totally out of touch with reality. Unlike the rest of us ordinary people on this planet, this guy insists that he's a living man standing on his own 2 feet with blood flowing through his body. Okay, we get it. You're alive. Congratulations. But it gets even crazier. This guy actually threatens to sue the judge, which is obviously a massive mistake in a courtroom. Honestly, he seems totally disconnected from reality, and it's one of those situations you really have to see for yourself to believe. Tell me down in the comments what you think about this guy. Now let's jump right in and see how this wild courtroom hearing unfolds. Movie camera balance scale.
My honor. So, for the record, I've made this special visitation under duress pertaining to the matters of Jonathan Troy, Faifoleaso Maliatoa Schuster. For I am beneficiary, I am sovereign, I am man. The flesh lives, the blood flows. I am a non-U.S. citizen, American national. I am sui juris imperfecta persona. I reserve all rights. I do not understand the status. And so I ask you, ma'am, what is your name? What is your nationality? And what is your status?
I'm Judge Grant. I am a citizen and I'm the judge in this court. You are here subject to appropriate jurisdiction. So you are here for an arraignment. You've been charged with a crime. Today, you will be asked to enter a plea.
Ma'am, I object because a citizen cannot sit a bench, ma'am.
So I'm going to go through the information. It looks like you have been charged with driving with a suspended license, driving without a required ignition interlock device, refusal to comply, not having proper registration on the vehicle, expired over 2 months. And then there was also a driving violation. Wheels were off the roadway. Last two are infractions. So,
ma'am, jurisdiction cannot be proven unless status is established. You have not established status. And so if you cannot do that, I challenge the jurisdiction. And if jurisdiction cannot be proven, I move to dismiss this case with prejudice.
That would be denied. So I am going to, at this time, review for probable cause.
Object. Again, I've challenged the jurisdiction, and jurisdiction must be proven.
It's not going to happen today.
Jurisdiction must be proven.
To hear the charges, and I will be reviewing for probable cause, and then we'll make a determination as to whether or not you will remain in custody. And I will hear from the prosecutor as to that.
And if you violate my rights even further, ma'am, as well as the officer and the sergeant that violated my rights, who are also going to be getting sued, it would just add to that. And I don't think that you need to go that route.
While I review this incident report. All right, I do find probable cause with the charges. I will be entering not guilty, please.
Ma'am, you cannot practice law from the bench. I object.
Noted.
You cannot enter a plea for somebody. That is, practicing.
Jurisdiction hasn't been proven. Really? Then why are you sitting there in handcuffs wearing that ugly striped jumpsuit? It almost seems like you're already under the authority of the state, buddy. This guy is giving off the classic, I watched a few YouTube videos and now I'm a legal expert vibe. He's acting like he's about to reveal some earth-shattering truth. But honestly, all I hear are the ramblings of someone who clearly doesn't have his facts straight. I mean, seriously, this dude sounds so emotional, it's like he's about to start crying about some government conspiracy while sipping a latte. I honestly wish the judge would just clap back at this goofy sovereign citizen and say, it's not my job to prove jurisdiction is wrong. It's your responsibility to prove it. Like, come on, if you're going to walk into court with this kind of script, at least come prepared. This isn't the worst sovereign citizen we've seen, but this guy definitely isn't the sharpest either. Let me know what you guys think about him in the comments. Now let's jump back in and see what happens next.
Established, your nationality or your status. I am a non-U.S. citizen, American national by way of America Samoa. I reserve all my rights.
Is this something that we need to consider a competency evaluation for?
We may need to consider ordering ability to proceed, but it looks like you have a driver's license that recently expired.
To question my competency because I'm evoking my, or not evoking, I'm sorry, establishing status and asking you to prove jurisdiction is outrageous. And so, again, if jurisdiction cannot be proven, I move to dismiss this with prejudice based on the grounds that you cannot prove jurisdiction.
All right, I've reviewed this. You were driving in the city of Lake Forest Park. You were violating.
Again,
the traffic laws.
I was not driving. Again, I have rights.
You were
And
behind. the
my
wheel
rights were
when you were
violated.
traveling.
My rights were violated. My right to travel freely unencumbered was violated. There was no emergency in which the officer needed to put on his red and blue lights. And so, again, if status cannot be set, jurisdiction cannot be proven, I move to dismiss this matter with prejudice.
That's denied. So you've made your record. Right now, I'm going to directly appoint counsel from the bench. Ms. McDonald.
Again, I am
you.
sui juris impropria persona. I stand on my 2 feet. I'm in my proper person. And so I reserve all my rights.
I understand that, and I've acknowledged that. I'm not dismissing your case today. I'm going to hear from Ms. McDonald as to the city's position on release.
Yes, Your Honor, I am going to be asking that the bail remain the same. It looks like it's currently set at $2,000. I do have some concern regarding his willingness and ability to reappear if he was released on his own recognizance, as well as concerned about community safety and risk of reoffending, given his temperament in the court today.
And Your Honor, Mr. Schuster would ask the court to release him on his own recognizance. These are not violent offenses. I don't see that he has any convictions for violent offenses. There was an assault from 2021 that was dismissed. He may have a view of the law that is different than the city's, but that in itself does not indicate that he won't come to court or that he would in any way try to subvert court proceedings. So we'd ask the court to release him on standard conditions.
Well, the court can consider whether or not Mr. Schuster is likely to reappear for future court hearings. What I hear from him today is that he completely objects to this court having any jurisdiction. I don't have a good faith.
There's honestly no chance this guy shows up again if the judge decides to release him today. You can tell just by his attitude that he'd probably commit the same crimes he's accused of 100 times over without even thinking twice. I mean, this dude looks like the type who would rob a bank and then ask for a refund afterward. I'd also bet he's the kind of person who'd do a hit and run simply because he hates society and doesn't even bother carrying insurance. Who needs it anyway? He'd probably say while speeding off down the road. It's honestly wild how some people genuinely act like the law just doesn't apply to them. I'm sure the judge doesn't really want to release him, but it makes you wonder what we're supposed to do with people like this in the courtroom. Should their sentences be extended or something? Because at this point, that almost feels like the only option left. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Now let's jump back in and see what happens next.
He's on a deferred prosecution at this time in Seattle Municipal Court. He's not complying with conditions if he's driving without a license and driving without a required ignition interlock device. Also indication that Mr. Schuster will not abide the court's orders to appear on his promise. Want to look at the Seattle municipal case and see when he's next scheduled to
Like you had
appear.
mentioned too, in 2021, same situation, or not same situation, a situation occurred in which they tried to charge me. They didn't have jurisdiction. It was dismissed. And again, I don't want any charges against me because I do have the deferral, which would obviously violate that deferral. And so I will make any visitations, special visitations to the court to handle any matters pertaining to Jonathan Troy Faifale Malietoa Schuster. I'm a man, I'm free, and I want it to stay that way.
I do see it looks like he's got at least 3 prior warrants. He has 2 priors out of Benton County, 1 out of Lower Kittitas. The previous warrants history.
And throughout this process of going to courts, I've had to learn a lot. And so I know it's no game to just not show and make visitations. That's not what I want to do. And again, jurisdiction does need to be proven, whether it's today or another date. And if you want to violate my rights even further by not releasing me on my own recognizance, ma'am, was it Jennifer Grant? Then, like I had mentioned earlier, you, along with the officer and sergeant, who are already going to be getting sued, I mean, there's no need to add you as well, especially when you know the law.
I
I don't see another date set until February 12th of 2025 in the Seattle.
In Seattle Municipal Court.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Schuster, I have to do what I believe is appropriate in this case, and that is to set bail. And
This guy can't possibly be serious. There's honestly no way. He literally just threatened the judge by saying he would add her to his lawsuit if she didn't release him from jail. Like, dude, who exactly do you think you are? I'm honestly shocked the judge didn't snap at him right then and there, because if I were in her position, I would have taken that threat and thrown the book at him, meaning the full force of the law, not an actual book, but you know what I mean. I'm not saying sovereign citizens should be treated any differently in court, but a threat like that is on a completely different level. Something like that should have gotten him put in his place immediately. What do you guys think about this judge so far? I feel like she's been pretty calm and relaxed about the whole thing, but should she have come down a little harder, or do you think she's handling it the right way? Let's jump back in and see what happens next.
$2,000. I do not believe that you will respond to the court's order to come back. I do base that upon the conduct in this case, as well as the prior FTA history. So bail will be $2,000. If you're able to post bail, you are to return for your next court date. You are to have no criminal law violations. You're not to drive unless you have a valid license and insurance. And
when are you setting that court date, Miss?
Required by the Department of Licensing. You will be represented, because I'm going to assign counsel.
I am sui juris in propria persona. I present myself. I don't need to be represented by anybody. I stand on my own 2 feet.
These are criminal charges that have significant consequences for you. So it's in your best interest to have counsel.
Again, I stand on my own 2 feet. I do not need to be represented by anybody. I present myself sui juris in propria persona.
If you want to be your own counsel, you'll have to go through a full colloquy and waive all your rights to have representation. It's your constitutional right.
I do not accept being represented by anybody. Again, I present myself. I am beneficiary. I am sovereign. I am an American national, a non-U.S. citizen American national by way of America Samoa, like I had mentioned earlier. I reserve my rights, and I do not need to be represented by anybody.
All right. The time for trial expiration is 8/9/24.
Again, if you are practicing law from the bench and putting a plea in for me, I object to that. You cannot practice law from the bench.
Next court date will be.
We want to try for next Wednesday or even the week after that.
Well, next Wednesday's a holiday, so the 18th, which is pretty full. So I was going to set this on June 24th. That's 2 weeks out.
So for the record, you have not established status, you have not proven jurisdiction, and you're denying my rights. Is that correct?
I don't know what you think would establish my status, but I do have status to sit in this court.
You are a
and hear
U.S.
these
citizen. A
cases.
U.S. citizen cannot sit a bench.
Sign for your next court date.
You're asking me to sign something that you pleaded for me. Is that
Yes,
correct?
I'm giving you notice of the conditions that I have set as well as bail.
You said
I'm
yes,
noting
you
that
pleaded
I
for
found
me.
Probable cause. If you are able to post that bail and get out of custody, those are my expectations that you will come back on that court date and that you will abide by the conditions that I have imposed. Those are being ordered today. So that is what's happening today. And we are giving you that notice. You can refuse to sign that notice and we'll note that you were provided a copy in writing and that you refused to sign.
I do not understand.
Which part of
How-
it do you not understand that you have a
I
piece
do
of
not
paper
understand how
with
you can
the
practice
document?
law from the bench.
I'm the judge and I am setting the conditions.
But you also entered a plea for me, correct?
What we're doing at arraignment is the plea is being entered. You're not pleading guilty. So on your behalf, I'm entering a not guilty plea.
So correct, you
cannot-
are pleading for me,
There's
correct?
two pleas.
And if
It's
you
not
plead
guilty
for me,
or
you're
guilty.
practicing law from the bench. You cannot practice law from the bench, so I object.
Okay.
That you're,
I'm going to give you that piece of paper and we're done with your hearing today. We will see you in 2 weeks. Okay? All right.
Jennifer Grant, you
Well, that definitely didn't go the way he expected. This guy actually believed he was just going to walk right out of there, huh? He seriously thought he'd be leaving that courtroom like nothing happened. Honestly, I can't wait to upload the second part of this hearing once I find it. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But seriously, let me know down in the comments what you all thought about this clown. This has to be one of the most irritating sovereign citizens we've seen so far. He's definitely high up on the list. I really can't stand it when their only defense is claiming a lack of jurisdiction. Come on, it's such a ridiculous argument and it never works. None of their arguments ever work, but that one has to be one of the worst. It's so obvious they're just trying to stall the hearing, like they think they're somehow going to get out of trouble easily, but it never plays out that way. As for the judge, I honestly think she might need to be a bit stricter next time. But then again, maybe she's letting him keep talking so he ends up exposing himself even more, basically letting him dig his own grave. Either way, this entire hearing felt like a mess right from the beginning. And honestly, I'm really curious to see how everything turns out in the end. But I want to hear what you guys think. Do you believe the judge should have taken stronger action, or is she just playing the long game here? Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want more crazy content like this. I upload new videos every single day, so stay tuned. Also, drop your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everyone.